Hey, Charlie Wasson here, and this is your Boerne, Texas real estate update for September 15th. I'm with the Laffey Hilger Group. My wife, Elisa, and I are realtors who partner to help folks sell and buy in the Boerne, Texas, Fair Oaks Ranch, Texas, and surrounding San Antonio Metro. And there's just so much confusion about what's going on right now in the real estate community. My goal here is to shed some clarity on it and maybe give you the confidence to move ahead, whether it's selling or buying a home. I want to share at least what's going on in two zip codes, 78015 and 78006, which are the primary zip codes for Boerne, Texas. And before I jump into those local numbers, I want to share an article that came to my email box yesterday, which kind of talks about a little bit of what's happening nationwide and give you an education on what's going on right there. So the article is the real estate market slowing down, or is this a housing bubble? Because there's definitely some things going on. We've been describing it as a shift. Here they're calling it an inflection point in housing supply and demand. According to Realtor.com, active listings have increased more than 26% over the last year, which if you were paying attention to the market a year ago, you know the one thing we needed was more listings because we were struggling to get our buyers into homes. Well, now with the higher interest rates that buyers are experiencing, the market has certainly slowed down a bit, and the time on market is growing, and that has led to this 26% increase in active listings year over year. And according to Showing Time, the company that realtors use to schedule showings on available homes, the requests for showings has decreased almost 17% from a year ago. So you see, certainly, I describe it as a softening, but don't think it's a crash by any means. I'm not seeing any indication of that, and I'll show you with some local numbers here. Let's review these charts here real quick. So this is that supply and demand ratio changing quickly chart with showings down almost 17%, active listings up almost 27% based on year over year numbers. What experts are saying about home prices in the coming year, because this is one thing that I know a lot of people are concerned about. It doesn't matter if it's today or 10 years ago. People always want to know when they buy a house that it's not going to be a depreciating asset. You know, we always talk about you should invest in appreciating assets, and certainly historically homes have been those. So the experts have been asked, what do you think is going to happen next year in 2023? This is a compilation of what the experts think is going to happen. Fannie Mae was asked about home prices next year. They think home prices will go up 4.4%. This HPES, that's the Home Price Expectation Survey. And who did they survey? I was curious myself, so I looked it up. Every quarter, this company, Pulsonomics, surveys a distinguished panel of over 100 economists, investment strategists, and housing market analysts in regard to their 5-year expectations. What they're saying for next year is they think 4.1% will be the amount that home prices increase in 2023. Freddie Mac, they're predicting 4.0. MBA, which is the Mortgage Bankers Association, they think home prices are going to go up. I know they're nervous about these higher rates. They've seen their business slow down a lot, but they still think home prices will go up next year. And the National Association of Realtors agrees with just over 2%. Now, here's what I want to get into. This is Abby Zellman is this analyst. She's got a company, and she's the only one to predict that in 2023, home prices will go down 3%. Now, I just wanted to do a quick exercise. I was just trying to think of, a retort perhaps to that 3.0. And I wanted to share a really quick calculation with you. So our average price point this year so far for our buyers and sellers has been right at about $550,000 here in the Boerne area. So let's take $550,000, find out what 3% of that is. $16,500. Now, mind you, nobody wants to buy a house and see it decrease by that much next year. But think about this, especially if you're renting. Let's divide that by $2,100. Let's assume you pay $2,100 a month for your rent. And I know in certain parts of Boerne, that's pretty low. And if you're renting a single family house, odds are you're probably paying closer to $2,500, maybe even $3,000 a month. That's 7.85 months of rent. I hate to see people say I'm going to sit out of the market because I'm worried about prices going down, yet they'll continue to throw money into their landlord's pocket where you've got no appreciation, or at least no equity being built. So think about that. If you're renting right now at $2,100 a month, even if the market was to soften the price of the home you buy by $16,500, that's still money that you would have thrown out the window in just about 8 months of rent. By the time you take your write-offs for your closing costs and your interest deduction on your taxes, plus the equity you're going to be paying in on your home payment every month, I'm sure if I was an accounting wizard, I could show you that $16,500 is going to evaporate. I'm not that smart, but what I can promise you is the one way to look like a genius in the housing world is to buy a home and wait. That is one thing we do know for sure. So let's go ahead and look and see what's happening here in Boerne, because I know that's what you tuned in for. So what I've done is I pulled up all the sold homes in 78006 and 78015 for the last 30 days, just to get a 30-day snapshot of what's going on. And I plan on doing this very regularly, maybe even more than monthly, just so we can keep our finger on this trend. What I want to do is skip down to the bottom and show you that there have been 76 properties that have sold and closed in the last 30 days. And we're going to go down this average column here. Our average sold price, $619,165. Average price per square foot, $229. Now, the things I really want to keep track of are your average days on market. We're at 39 days on market for those last closings in the last 30 days. List price to sales price ratio, 99.16, and the mean is 100. So this is your list price to the actual sold price. I'm only going to concentrate on this one line just so I can keep everything consistent month after month. But what I've done is I've taken those numbers and I've transposed them over to this spreadsheet. And the last time I looked was on August 28th. Now we're looking at 15 September. So let's skip over here. Last time I looked, average sold price was $618, $695. It's actually gone up a little bit in the last half month since I checked on this. Average price per square foot down just a little bit. Average days on market up. So you can see those homes that closed took about a week longer to find a buyer and get closed than it had just 15 days ago. But here's what I think is a little bright news. 99.16 is your list price to sales price ratio, actually a little stronger than it was last time I looked. And then this is one thing I really want to keep track of is seller's concession. So this is the amount of money that was given to the buyer by the seller. Maybe it was repairs, maybe it was money towards closing costs. I'm going to be keeping track of that as well, because that's money in the seller's pocket. While the prices may stay strong, I suspect we'll start to see this number get nibbled on, which is good news for those of you who want to buy a house, because that's when we get the seller to pay some of your closing costs. And I can attest that the market is still strong, because we just had a listing in Fair Oaks Ranch over the weekend, put it on the market, got a contract first weekend, and I'm feeling good about things. It didn't show a ton, but we had a great, strong offer, and the seller is ecstatic because they had read the headlines and they really thought that the market was crashing. So if you would do me a favor, if you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to this channel, because I want to keep you abreast and informed of what's going on in the market. If you live in Fair Oaks Ranch or Boerne especially, please hit that subscribe button. And next time I do an update, you'll get notified of that. If you see anything in this trend that I've missed, or you've got a possible topic for another discussion, please put those down in the comments, because I'd love to know what your thoughts are or what you're seeing. Maybe you've got a home on the market, or you're thinking about getting into the market. If there's a question I can answer for you, please let me know down in the comments. I'm also going to put in the comments on YouTube a link to the article that I was showing you with those nationwide numbers so you can look at that. And certainly if there's anything we can do for you real estate wise, if you have questions, concerns, you just want to bounce a question because you heard something in the news and you don't know what that term means, we'd be happy to help you. All our contact information is in our bio. And thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned. We'll have another Boerne, Texas real estate update for you real soon. Have a great day.